The FA can stop the vote. Yes, but there's a lot of people, right, who are always defeatist in life. FA can do this, FA can do that. Fair enough. But fan power will have a say in this as well. And tonight, I think we have that conversation around VAR, as well as the transfer news stories. Because it isn't working, in my opinion. And I went onto the Sky Sports website, and they have a vote on there. And obviously, Sky Sports will have a far bigger audience reach than we would. So I voted on the poll myself, should the Premier League scrap VAR? And when I had voted, and then I got Connor to vote a couple of hours later just to check, 73% of those people who voted wanted to remove VAR from the Premier League. So it seems as if the audience appetite is there to remove it, and I would certainly be in that column. But look, we do have a lot to speak about, because my own opinion certainly isn't everybody's opinion, and I've interacted with people today who feel that it's not the system, it's the people behind the system. And I get that argument as well, but they aren't going to change. We're not going to see a whole new set of referees brought in all of a sudden one way or the other. So for me, the way I explain it tonight is how I'm hoping to convince some of you that my thought process is the right one. But I'm also open for you guys trying to convince me that your thought processes and why you'd like to keep it are the right ones. This is what I love about these streams. We get to share opinion. Scrap VAR, it's a farce, ruining the game, said Alex Macklin. The PGMOL and their Middle Eastern owners won't want that much less power and influence. So look, let's start off with a straightforward poll. Should VAR be scrapped, yes or no? And then, as the stream goes on, we can check back in on the poll and we can talk about our own versions of what we think about it. So let me just pose the question first. So look, I've asked the question, should VAR be removed from the Premier League, yay or nay? We'll leave that running in the background as we go over the rest of today's news. And then we'll have a little debate in an hour or so, and we'll see where we're all fixed at it. So we asked you guys at the start of the stream, should VAR be removed? And 68% of you guys have said yes, you would like to see VAR removed, with 32% saying no. So here's my argument on VAR, and then we'll come back around and we'll talk about the Diaz situation again. In theory, VAR is brilliant. You get help for the referees in instances that may not get noticed, then get noticed, and errors corrected. That's the theory. And we were sold VAR as the thing that was going to come in and stop the debates with your friends in the cafe, down the pub, in college, at work, wherever it is. Has it done that? Truly, because remember, this was the pitch. That VAR was going to stop the debates. VAR was going to be the search and quest for perfection in decision making. And for me, when you sell something in that manner, the expectation from fans is that there will be zero mistakes, because why would a referee look at something 3 or 4 times, or VAR look at something and still get it wrong? Surely they'd get it right. There's always going to be semi-subjective decisions. Stuff around red cards, stuff around penalty incidents, sort of subjective. But I don't feel in any way, shape or form the VAR has delivered on what it's promised. Now on top of that, I also think as human beings, we're more understanding of a mistake. If a referee doesn't see something, or a linesman gets a flag wrong, it's not good. But I don't remember the backlash being anywhere near as much as it has been when VAR still hasn't intervened. So, for instance, I can live with the referee not seeing Martin Odegaard's handball when we played Arsenal. But I can't live in a world where VAR still doesn't think that that referee should be sent to the monitor. So what we have had is referees and VAR getting a get out of jail free card of clear and obvious threshold. It's not a threshold that is measurable in any way, shape or form. And it hasn't removed. All it's done is make a cottage industry for Sky, TNT and other content providers to bring referees on to try and sell the crap decisions. It really hasn't helped fans inside stadiums. The experiences of fans, match-going fans, have been terrible, according to many of them. So for me, I'd rather get back to a case of, okay, maybe it was a little bit wrong, fair enough. Because I don't feel as hard done by and as robbed as I do when I don't see the penalty against Odegaard, or the Doku kick, or the goal against Spurs, or the 2 red cards that were given against Spurs that were dodgy as hell. And that's just for Liverpool, because I'm a Liverpool fan. Everybody else will have their own. And as I mentioned at the start, 73% in the poll that Sky had ran last time we checked wanted it removed. I think Sweden, one of the other leagues in Europe that have removed it. And I understand what people will reply with. People will come in and go, but Craig, it's not VAR that's the problem. It's those that are implementing VAR. And that's very fair. But they aren't going to change. We're not going to all of a sudden keep VAR and have a whole new level of referees overnight. It isn't going to change. There could be a middle ground here. The middle ground could be use certain things. Goal line technology, I think universally all of us love it. And I'd like to see that extended around the perimeter of the pitch, because we've also seen instances where was that ball out before someone scored a goal and stuff like that. Semi-automated offside technology, I think that can have some uses. It may still need some human interaction, but I am sick to death of hearing Dermot Gallagher and other referees doing mental gymnastics to justify what is clearly an incorrect decision and hiding behind laws of the game that they haven't implemented properly themselves. And it hasn't changed football. And I don't like not being able to celebrate properly because 5 phases ago something was picked up that was a toenail offside. Players don't know if they can celebrate. Fans inside the stadiums don't know if they can celebrate. And we haven't even gotten into the injuries yet. We haven't gotten into the players having to stand around. How long did the VAR check take for our goal to be given against Aston Villa the other night? 3.5 minutes? 4 minutes? Something like that. And in that time, all we've seen is players standing around, going cold. More injuries likely to pick up. The game slowing down. It not being as frantic as we like the Premier League to be. Ange Postecoglou highlighted this as well. I just don't think there's enough upsides to it. And if people are trying to say that correct decision making have gone from, I think they said like 86% to like 96% or something around that. Really? Because I can still see a lot of incorrect decisions. Now, to tie all this together, for this vote to take place and it to pass, the vote is going to be on June the 3rd, I think it was, if my memory is correct. Let me just get those notes. I think it's June the 3rd that David Ornstein said that vote is going to be. So yeah, Premier League clubs are set to vote to remove VAR from next season. Any rule change would have to have 14 of the 20 members, with the vote taking place from June the 6th. So for me, I would very firmly be behind removing it. And I was pro VAR to begin with, but not anymore. It's just destroying it for me. It's taken away it's taken away my ability to think of something as a mistake, and it's made me think that a lot more things are more sinister and a lot more things are more underhanded. And yeah, I'm on the side of no VAR. So I've had my say. Now I want to hear what you guys have to say. And remember, 14 clubs would need to adopt that for it to pass. So, you know, who won't vote for it? Well, that'll be interesting to see. Now, Wolves called for this vote. Wolves and any Premier League club have the ability to call for a motion and this vote to take place. So it's Wolves that are calling for it, and they've certainly suffered at the hands of VAR this year. Philip Macmillan said, totally agree, Craig. I don't get why we don't just use lines. I see why other countries with VAR and it's like a full glass wall they put up and it shows body parts through it. That's the semi-automated offside technology. There was a couple of reasons why we haven't had that in the Premier League this year. Reason 1, the clubs didn't vote it in. Reason 2, the football that's used in the Premier League, the Nike football, hadn't been trialled and tested enough with the technology. So that was the reasons it wasn't. I agree with you. I think that technology is brilliant and gives you a really good, clear indication of somebody being on or offside. And as much of it that can be removed for human error, the better. So in one sense, yes, VAR for semi-automated offside technology, I like that, and I like goal line technology. The rest of it is a farce, as far as I'm concerned. Alex said, agreed, no VAR. Barry Taylor said, I just want goal line and offside ball chip technology. Rob Whitaker said, VAR is only good if operators are competent. If we can't get decent operators, bin VAR. I don't think the FA will let the vote go ahead. See, and look, you've a point there, and it's a fair one. But remember, fan power is important, because whatever the FA think, or whatever clubs think. Remember, we as a community are football. And I'm not just talking about us in England and Ireland. I'm talking about football fans around the globe. We are football. And we have a voice. And we can be powerful on this. And I think between now and the 6th of June when that vote takes place, you would think that football clubs would survey their season ticket holders and their members to see what they think. Because that would be an interesting way of getting a feed for what fans think about it. Survey those inside the stadium and also survey those who have memberships of the club who maybe don't go to games all the time but still have a vested interest in an opinion on it. I'd like to see that happen. And then you get a better gauge of what your fans think. What the people who are actually the lifeblood of the sport think. That's my opinion on it anyway. VAR works better in the Champions League, says Mick M. I've seen VAR work really well in so many instances. What gets me though is the thresholds changing around, and the handball stuff is a farce because it's different in different countries. There are loads of stuff about VAR, and I don't even think they use VAR properly. Because as I've said many times, I don't like seeing them using slow motion and still images because everything looks more intentful and it's not supposed to be used. It's only supposed to be used for a limited set of circumstances, whether a foul took place in or outside a penalty area, whether somebody's run starts in or outside their own half when the ball is being played by the attacking team, and some other limited instances. But what we don't get that. We get referee going over to the monitor and being met with a still image of the worst part of a tackle and then seeing the tackle in slow motion. Why? The game is not played in slow motion. Show it in real time. If you can't pick it up in real time, then it isn't that obvious, is it? So these are things that have bugged me because the protocols that are supposed to be utilised aren't being utilised, and yet they still talk down their nose to us as fans and tell us that we don't understand the rules. Again, we understand the rules when Mike Dean didn't apply them because he didn't want to send his mate to the monitor. We understood those rules. We understood you didn't do your job. And then Sky thought in their infinite wisdom, let's give the man who didn't do his job properly a prominent position to talk about refereeing. Brilliant, Sky. Well done. You're doing a great job.